Sharp Game here, coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Actually, this question comes from a subscriber, and he said, why do older women want younger guys? Why do older women want younger guys? And I can only speak from my experience when it comes to this. I'm going to tell you what I've observed and what's happened to me. Now, a lot of older women, once they get older, 40s, 50s, some are divorced, some never been married, some have kids, some have, they just never really been in a serious relationship. You got some women that's always been the side chick. I met them types too. They just never, for whatever reason, wasn't wifey material or just had low self-esteem. So it's like a melting pot of different types of woman you would meet in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So what happens a lot of times, these women, a lot of them don't age well. Some do, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't look the same way they used to look when they were younger. And a lot of them pick up weight. A lot of them have low self-esteem. So a lot of times, a lot of these women just want to see if they still got it. So they're seeking, they kind of want to, test the waters, see if, if they can still have, I guess, certain types of guy, not necessarily the top guys, but they just want to see, if they still got it. So, and a lot of times, this is just in general, a lot of women want to be wanted anyway. They want to be, when I say they want to be wanted, sexually they want to be wanted. It's just the idea of a guy wanting them. That's just enough. Even if nothing ever happens between them sexually, it's okay. But they just, in their mind, it's an ego boost. They just want to know that they're wanted by some guy, And from a guy's point of view, this doesn't make any sense, because us being guys, if we'll take that, just being happy with a woman, knowing that a woman want to be with us, that's not enough all the time. We want to take it further. We want to go all the way. It's time for some action. And that's how we roll. But women on the other side, on the other hand, they're seeking validation all the time, and they'll try to get it from any guy. But especially when they get older, they'll use the younger guy for validation, and even sexually, they'll use him, and then the younger guy is looking at it like, yeah, I got me an older chick, and he feels like he's doing something. He feels good about himself, so he can go back to his buddies and brag and tell them, hey man, I got me a 45-year-old chick, baby. I got a 50-year-old. She's bad as a motherfucker. He'll go back and brag. He think he's doing something, but in most cases, all he got is a used up vagina. And that's just what it is. So basically, he got bragging rights, and the woman, she's just seeking validation. She just wants to see if she still got it so she can boost her ego. That's really all it is. That's why older women want younger men. That's really all it is. Now, every once in a while, you might see a younger, older woman get married to a younger guy, and that's mostly a control thing. That's what that mostly is. Because you got to think about it. If I'm 30 and she's in her 50s, there's like a big gap. Just a mindset gap. Just a mind shift. You know, what do we have in common? I'm 30. She's 52. Let's say she's 52, 55. What do we really have? We might have some things in common, but we're at different times in our lives. She's at the damn near the tipping, almost damn near the end of her life. You know, she's past the halfway mark. You know, so it's like maybe we might have something to talk about. Maybe we like doing the same things. Maybe we might have the same values. But there's still gonna be a gap. It's kind of like a generational gap there. So how you gonna work that out? Now maybe the sex is good. That could be a positive, you know. But I think it's gonna be very difficult to maintain a relationship like that, because you have to see each other every day, 7 days a week. You know, for the most part, unless you have a job that you travel a lot or something like that, or unless she travels a lot, vice versa, whatever. But I think it's much easier to maintain a relationship like that if you're not married, if y'all stay in separate households, and from time to time y'all get together, and maybe y'all go, I don't know, mountain climbing, or maybe y'all go ride bicycles together, maybe you work out together. I think it's easier to maintain a relationship that way because there's space in between and you have time to think. You know, a lot of times people that live together, y'all don't really have time to think because you kind of have to be spontaneous. And even in between that time of thinking, I mean, a lot of people don't have patience. They don't have patience. A lot of people feel like they have to be doing something all the time. So, but see, you know, ultimately, most older women, they're seeking validation, and they just want to know that they still got it. Because you have to think about it, a lot of guys in her age bracket, they're not checking for her like that. A lot of these guys will hit it, pump and dump. That's it. But they're not going to settle with a woman their age. It happens, but it's very rare. Most guys in the 40s and 50s, they want a younger woman. They want a woman that's 10, 15 years younger sometimes 20 years younger. I mean, and plus, a lot of older women, I don't like how they smell, man. Yeah, that's been my experience. A lot of older women, they just have a certain scent, you know. And it's not all, of course it's not all women, but there's I don't know what it is. But women, when they get old, they start to take on certain habits, and a lot of them don't have good hygiene like they used to when they were younger. So I don't like how they smell. You know, I'm a type of guy, I like a certain type of smell on a woman. And a lot of these older women, I don't like how they smell, man. You know, and it's not a smell between the legs and nothing like that. It's just a body smell. It's not it's not a stinky smell, but it's just a different type of smell compared to a younger girl versus an older woman. You know, and it could be her hair, it could be her it could be her, you know, her chest area. It could be a smell that I like. Could be on the neck, but it's just a certain type of smell. Just just dealing with some of these older women, I just don't like. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. But that's just been my experience. You know, younger women tend to be fresher, tend to have better skin, tend to be more energetic. You know, of course there's some older women that are like that too, but it's very rare. And a lot of that is going to depend on the region where you live at. Like, for example, if you live in Miami, LA, or anywhere near the ocean, for the most part, people tend to keep themselves up. They tend to be more health conscious near the ocean front or the waterfront, for the most part. So sometimes age, how a woman looks, has a lot to do with that, because a lot of these women, they think like, I got to keep my body right so I can get in the bikinis. A lot of women think like this. But once you get away from the water, away from the ocean front, the women tend to look better. They tend to act better. They tend to carry themselves better. They tend to dress better. And even the weather is different near the ocean front. You know, so a lot of that has to do, the environment has a lot to do with how the women take care of themselves. You know, but versus a place where, like in the Midwest or down south, away from the ocean, women tend to not be so health conscious. They tend to eat anything. You know, so a lot of that's the environment has a lot to do with how women function and how they carry themselves, are they health conscious or not, you know. So all of this comes into play once guys are aware of this, whether consciously or unconsciously, really, you know. But that's just my experience. That's just my perspective. You might have a different perspective on it or whatever, or you might not have no experience with older women at all. You know, I don't know. But you tell me. Leave your comments below. So if you like what you heard, subscribe, share this video, check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/sharpgame. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.